All right, hello and welcome to our spring concert, May concert. The last one of the year here in the auditorium. Some of them have to still march on Memorial Day or have graduation at the high school, which is awesome. But for these guys, this is their last time this year they're going to perform in front of you. So they're pretty stoked. We have a nice song called Dragon Slayer up, and it is in minor. And there's a little percussion to spice it up a bit. All right, up next we have a Vikings tale. We're just moving slightly across the globe. And in this song, it's a bit aggressive. We have some percussion. and some vocals. I'm sure they love this, so I hope you will too. They like that one. Yeah. I'm hoping that the 7th grade comes out stage here pretty soon, but we'll see. If they get distracted back there, there was some props back there. But the song they're going to be playing up first is Attila, which a little bit of history. Attila is a ruler, right? Also a warrior. So the song is a little bit vicious, is what they wrote in the notes, but there is a nice little sweet melody section. I'm gonna go find them though.
In the meantime, if you look at the back of your program, you'll see that there's several more upcoming events coming up here in May as we finish out the school year. We've got the beginner instrument testing night, so the younger siblings maybe of this crew. That's coming up this week on Thursday and Friday, so they should already have their time set up. And that's when they'll be trying out the different mouthpieces, the different instruments, and measuring for string, which size violins and violas. That's coming up later this week. A week from right now will be our choral spring concert featuring the middle school and high school choirs. Of course, DHS's graduation will be Sunday of Memorial Weekend. And as Ms. Denton said, that we do have the Memorial Day Parade. Folks will be marching in. That'll be fun. And Tuesday, the 31st of May, is our Fine Arts Night at DHS. That's for our high school and middle school fine arts and performing arts. If they did solo ensemble, if they submitted artwork for various contests, we'll be and of course the play and musical will be celebrating all of those events and those students on Tuesday the 31st.
we play our last song, I have a couple of people to thank on the orchestra side. One is Miss Benton for her amazing piano skills and accompanying all my orchestra concerts this year. She's truly awesome. The next is the 8th grade students in this orchestra. Now, these 8th graders were my first class here. It's hard to believe. They were my first group starting at Dodville. And they went through COVID with me and still stuck around, and we had virtual orchestra and everything. Now they're up here playing. And I'm so happy to see them going on to the high school and being able to play with them. So props to those guys. I asked them if they wanted to stand, and they shook their heads no, so. Our song is going to be Hiawatha, and it's about a peaceful Native American. And you'll hear the beating of the drums along with a very pretty lyrical section.
So for some reason, the air conditioning in the music room is not working tonight, so it's like really hot in there. We came in here.
Hopefully they stay there. Okay, this is the high school orchestra, and Miss Denton and I didn't really plan this, but I looked at her program and she sent me her program, and there was a lot of kind of like Middle Ages, the Vikings, and that kind of stuff. So we're going to take on a little further into modern history, like the early 1700s, with some Johann Sebastian Bach. We're going to go towards the late 1700s with Mozart, and then the 7th and 8th graders are going to join us for some Beethoven. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, Al Pacino, and Sylvester Stallone decided they were going to make a movie about great composers. So Pacino says, "I'll be Mozart," and Stallone says, "I'll be Beethoven." Schwarzenegger said, "I'm not even going to say it." And if you're too young to not know the Terminator, watch the Terminator and you'll get the joke. So this is one of the many Brandenburg concertos that Bach wrote. He wrote tons of music. He had to compose for the church, for the court, for kings and queens, and they're like every week for church service, he had to have a new set of music. So he was constantly composing. He had 22 kids and taught a lot of them how to copy the music. So he'd write out the score and say, "Give me the parts." So that's a little bit about his story. Many of his kids went on to become composers themselves. So this is Johann Sebastian Bach's Brandenburg Concerto. Number 5. As the 18th century rolled along, there was this period of time which we call the Enlightenment. And during the Enlightenment, people wanted music that was more pleasing to the ear. Not that Bach's music isn't pleasing to the ear. Of all the Baroque composers, he's the very greatest. But if you notice with Baroque music, it's a lot of scales, up and down the scales all the time, and goes and goes and goes and goes and da 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 da. Later on in the century, people wanted like tunes, like songs that they could recognize and walk out of concert whistling in their head or whatever. So that's what we call the classical period, the late 1700s, the age of enlightenment, the classical period. So Mozart's music is more tuneful. As he developed as a composer, he died very young, unfortunately, but composed 40-some symphonies. This is Symphony Number 10, which he composed when he was 15 years old. So, Child Prodigy, this is the finale from Mozart's 10th Symphony. I'm very sad to say we have 3 seniors this is their last concert with the orchestra. So all the 7th and 8th graders are coming back out here. I would like to recognize our 3 seniors. Will Decker. Bryton Judd. And Max Connick. So I think you guys I was still doing 4th grade strings when you guys were in 4th grade, right? So I started, I'm responsible for them. So thank you for sticking it out. I really appreciate it. It's a big hole. The good news is next year I'm gonna have the biggest orchestra I've ever had here. So we got a lot of these our 8th graders coming up next year. So I'm excited about that. These are some really fine leaders and strong players in our group. So thank you, seniors, and congratulations. More music history lesson here. Mozart was so brilliant that he often would write parts to his symphonic pieces without even writing out a score first. It was just all right there. No corrections ever in his music. Beethoven, who came to Vienna wanting to learn from Mozart, may have taken a couple lessons from him, but he was exactly the opposite. He agonized over every single note, and all of his manuscripts are just scribble, 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 scratch out, let's try this. He wrote he lived longer than Mozart. He wrote 9 full symphonies, was working on his 10th when he passed away. And 2 years ago, everyone was getting ready, all the orchestras around the world were getting ready to celebrate Beethoven's 250th birthday. And this thing called COVID-19 came along and canceled all of it. So there's a lot of orchestras now going back to Beethoven's music. As a matter of fact, this past weekend, the Madison Symphony did Beethoven's greatest hits for their concert and played the complete Fifth Symphony. But this Allegro con brio, you'll recognize it. It's excerpts from the opening movement of his most famous symphony, the Fifth Symphony. Brilliant. 4 notes. He constructed this whole brilliant piece of music with 4 notes. So enjoy Allegro con brio. Pretty good for one time rehearsing it together. So thank you, orchestra. Looking forward to the future, and thanks again, seniors, for all you've done. And we'll get ready for the band to come out.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. I think you can understand that arranging probably the largest 5/6 band we've had in a long time is a feat of musical chairs. You're welcome.
All right, so this is our 5-6 band, and we're going to be starting with a piece called Overlords. Now, the kids pointed out to me, because I didn't realize it, like this, and why does all your pieces have to do with dragons and like taking over things? And I was like, I do not know. It just sounded interesting. But we hope to get you energized with this piece. Now, our next piece is a huge departure. It is the first slow song they have, and they told me that, Miss Denton, I've decided I don't like slow songs. I was like, cool, great, nice. I think it's grown on them a little bit now that we've played it more. But the kicker was I made them count to 3 instead of 4. You wouldn't imagine how hard that is, but it is. They don't like it as much. On our last song, we're going to play Darkland's March, which is a little bit faster. Originally, I had scheduled this for 2 years ago on the May concert, but things tended to happen not to go my way, so I decided, hey, I have this cool piece. We're going to play it on this May concert. Seems pretty easy. I did, though, suggest to the 8th grade, since they did rehearse some of it, that if any of them wanted to come back and play the song they didn't get to, they can join us. So as you can tell, a couple of them have decided to come, which is awesome. And before I get the other 7-8, I would like to say that this middle school group is hardworking. I don't know if they seek out help or anything, but they were coming in during concerts. They're like, I want to put on a really good concert. So they would come in to other kids' lessons. They would find 5 minutes here or there and come see me to work on specific measures that they felt like they just needed a little bit more help on. And that is awesome. I mean, I surprised when they take their instruments home and actually practice, and it comes back. That's amazing. But we're gonna kick it off. This is part of the trilogy. So the first song when 7th, 8th grade comes back, I'm not gonna announce because this song they're marching to fight the dragon, and the 8th grade is gonna be the Dragon Lord. Yeah. I said I wasn't gonna do an introduction, but we have an instrument malfunction, so they're gonna go look at that for a moment. So we're gonna go to Dan Hemming for some nice jokes about music while I go make sure that that gets fixed.
Talk about on the spot, all right. So, did you hear the one about the two oboe players? How do you make two oboe players play in tune? You take one of their oboes away. Remember, I was put on the spot. That's the only one I came up with. All right. How many choir singers? Since they're not here, they can't defend themselves unless they're in the band. How many choir singers does it take to screw in a light bulb? It depends on the section. One to do it right, and everyone else to say they could do it better. Okay, that's good. This is sinking like a stone. This is why I understand it. In lieu of more jokes that are not going to come out of my head today, and yeah, this is actually good. We do want to take this opportunity to thank our music booster group. That is all of you sitting in this house right now. If you have a student that is in any of our performing ensembles from 5th grade all the way up through 12th, all the way up through 12th grade, you are our music boosters, and we can't do anything, well, we can do a few things, but it's all improved with your help. We have some new officers, I believe. I don't have any of this information in front of me, so I'm winging it off the top of my head. But we're so grateful that every couple of years, the next generation of students produces the next generation of parents that step into those leadership roles. Some of the things that they do, that you do as our music boosters, is self-concessions at various events. We also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, any of you who are more in the know than I am, but you've got a Betty Hayes event coming up this summer. Is that correct? Someone's going to tell me yes. I see you nodding. I see nodding out there. So be looking in your emails. I'm certain that they'll be sending some things to let you know how you can help with those elements. Also, we have done I believe, a 50-50 drawing today. We'll be doing that 50-50 actual drawing, I believe, either right before the high school band or maybe after they started. They didn't tell me. They asked me, and I'm like, hey, let's wait till the very end. So we'll see. But that is coming up, and all of the funds that are raised, whether it's the 50-50 or it's the other elements that they work on to raise some funds, that all helps all of our music students from 5th grade through 12th grade. One of the primary vehicles of ways that we can help them is we'll support them doing music camps over the summer. That's something that, thanks to the whole world shutting down these last 2 years, is finally back kind of in the normal realm. I believe UW Platteville, I believe UW Madison, and I'm sure several of the other UW schools have lots of summer camps. If you haven't looked into any of those, I highly recommend it. I'm partial to UW Platteville, it's right down the road in my alma mater, but I know they do a fabulous job of giving a wonderful experience for our middle school and our high school students. I believe it's usually a week-long camp, and their performance, they're mentored by college students and great staff and faculty that are there at UW Platteville, as in all of the other schools that have camps. And we do provide scholarships for a lot of those students. That's one of the things that Parent Music Boosters does. And I circle back around to where I started in my conversation. And we'll assume that Dr. Fix-It is fixing the fix-it and typing the check. I see 2 thumbs up. Let's give a round of applause to our musicians. And we believe we're ready to go on our end too, if you know what I'm talking about. There we go.
Awesome, right? They tried to ask me if they could do that with their mouths. I don't know. You know. So the next song, we're gonna take a step back. We're also gonna do another slower song called Night Star, which I think is fitting because it's about vampires and it's really hot today, right? It's like a week of summer in the middle of spring. So So again, before this last song, I would like to thank the 8th graders in our group, whether they've been with me since 6th grade or whether they just joined. They are a joy to have in class. They are dedicated, hardworking, and I've seen them grow as people. They've always been so kind to each other. It's just amazing to have them. I'm really happy that they'll be going on to the high school and playing with them, so I can't wait to see what songs they perform at that level. Now, our last song is The Red Cape. It's a Spanish march about bullfighting. That was my move for bullfighting, right? And we have a little bit of fun stuff in the back on percussion, which is always nice. And they really like this one. Hi, everybody. I am one of those new music booster people. I'm Nicole Missouri. So we're here to do the 50-50. And I'm also on one of the new music boosters. My name's Paula French. And everybody have your ticket ready, and here we go. 5, 6, 3, 5, 5, 4. 5, 6, 3, 5, 5, 4.
Him and Aaron sit next to each other and throw them, and I'm always grabbing them. Be the mom everywhere. I looked at him too, and I'm like, what you doing? He's like, "No."
Grandma's stuff.
Oh, my mind just went blank. So there's 3 folk songs. When Johnny Comes Marching Home. Not Love Me Tender, it's called Ora Lee. And Elvis stole it. And the third one was Lead Me Back West to the Kingdom or something like that, which isn't as familiar with a folk song for most of us probably, but it's a great one. Anyway, we were so lucky a couple weeks ago to have the University of Wisconsin Platteville Symphonic Wind Ensemble and Ensemble Nouveau, their fantastic faculty group, performed for all the music students a couple weeks ago Friday. And Matt had a concert tonight in Platteville, so he's not here, but I know Brody loved all the attention he got during the concert from his dad. But anyway, it was a really great experience. And at the very end, they invited this band to come up and join them for this next piece that we're going to play called Benediction. Written by someone who's near and dear to my heart, one of my brass professors from when I was at the University of Wisconsin, John Stevens. He was the professor of tuba and coached my brass quintet that I played in. Fantastic teacher. Many of his students are tuba professors all over the world these days. So great composer. This piece was originally written for a tuba euphonium quartet called Sotto Voce. A couple of the players still live locally. Mike Forbes in Mount Horeb, and one of the tuba players lives in Madison, plays in Youngblood Brass Band and all that stuff. And the others, they just get together. They still travel the world today. They met as doctoral students of John Stevens at Madison. So everyone loved the piece so much, he's like, you gotta write this for band. So he did. And this is Benediction by John Stevens. We're gonna feature Will Decker on the flute. It's that time to recognize our seniors. We're trying to figure out their alphabetical order here. So while they're doing that, I want to point out that 60% of our distinguished honor students are in this group. And, let's see, presidents, vice presidents, secretaries of just about every club in the school. Great bunch of kids. It's been an interesting 4-year ride for them with COVID and everything, and I really appreciate them sticking it out. And some of them, you know, during all the COVID mess last year and the end of the other year, kind of just dropped out, and I'm so glad many of them came back for their final year of band. So I really appreciate that, and I'd like to recognize them. I'm not ready for hugs yet, guys, so fist bumps it is. All right. Annabelle Bradley. Austin Bradley. The last of the Bradley bunch, Tyler Bradley. Will Decker. Max Heaney. Sam Husted. Sam just joined us at semester break here, so he's only had 1 semester of band. Why didn't you join sooner? He really does a nice job on percussion back there. Max Connop. Harmon Luchins. Seems like a couple years ago, he was this little Cub Scout wannabe tagging along at all the scouting events with my kids. Sandeep Sankar. Eamon Stone. Ryan Toy. I understand Ryan can fix anything with a motor in it, so. Yeah. Jocelyn Whitehouse. Last but certainly not least, Carly Wolf. You guys are athletes. Raise your hand if you're an athlete in a sport. Raise your hand if you're in a club or an organization. Raise your hand if you're in AP classes. Okay, all right. So, thanks again, guys. a lot of our time this year was spent on just remembering what it was like to be a band again. And so I'd like to say I'm just really proud of the progress we made. I kind of talk a lot about this in-crowd thing, in time, or in tone, in time, in tune, and in touch. We finally almost got to that last box of in touch, which means getting up into all the nitty-gritty of every note and how what the composer wanted from that note. There were times where we had to spend a lot of time just working on rehearsal etiquette again, and I had a full head of hair before this year, but I just there were times where they tried me, but all in all, you can hear it, just from the beginning of the year, we couldn't even play like the B flat scale and stay together as a group. So I'm not lying either, am I? So just to play such a beautiful piece like we just did takes a lot of maturity and growth. So thank you all, and hope you enjoy our last piece. Electricity is about those electrical neurons bouncing around in a circuit, and they need that circuit on charge for those neurons to keep moving to the next one, to the next one, next one, next one. So that's kind of the idea behind this piece by Brian Ballage is in the middle of it, there's a blackout. And don't worry, I didn't tell Mr. Hemming to turn off all the lights or anything. But listen for that, that's not the end. So there's more after that. So hope you enjoy Electricity.
I can if you want.
If I could please have everybody remain seated for a few brief moments. Thank you. I don't think I'm alone in saying that it has been an honor to work with Mr. R for the past 4 years. He has been an incredible band teacher and has so much patience for dealing with us. Like so much. So much. And we thought we should do something in return for him. Thank you, Mr. R.
Mr. Famous saying one more once, as in one more time, Mark, time is infinity, because it's never just one more time. And it's all the instruments that the seniors played this year, they all signed it, and we all left our favorite Mr. R quotes, such as, but not limited to, play so well that the audience throws their babies at you. Or, yes, I put pantyhose on the Tiffany mallets. No, don't ask why. And all of our favorite things, so remember about
It saves the district money because it makes the Tiffany mallets last longer and they're very expensive. Music is either a song or a dance. If you didn't hear that, that's one of my favorites.
And again, that we couldn't pass up based off an experience that I had in 6th grade. When I was in 6th grade orchestra, we were playing a song that was a little high tempo, and Mr. R got a little excited, and he may or may not have thrown his baton, and it may or may not have hit me. And so Nelson and I have been thinking about this for 6 years, and so we have made you a baton with a wrist strap.
Anyone in here has played in my pit orchestra, you know what they're talking about too. It happens all the time. Funny story about this. My very first year at Dodgeville, the seniors gave me the exact same thing. I'm not kidding. But thank you so much, and thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. I'm not worthy. See you at the next thing. We have graduation that everyone but the seniors. I haven't told the seniors that, but I want them to come back the day after graduation and march in the Memorial Day Parade. Please, please, please. Okay. Thank you.